Well, that was very good advice for me, so I will schedule my appointment when I get home. Thank you. My name is Todd Olson. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Pendo, and it's my pleasure to introduce Pendo to you today. So, who is Pendo? We were founded in 2013. We have a little over 170 employees. And we started in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'll talk a lot about that during the presentation, but now we have satellite offices actually in the Bay Area, New York City, and Israel. We've raised a little over $56 million, most of which have come from the Bay Area, so you can get capital coast to coast if you have a compelling business. And what's also notable is a good number of our larger customers come from the Bay Area as well. So you can see a lot of logos up here on the right side of the slide. A lot of them are Bay Area founded companies. We are proud to be one of VentureBeat's top 10 companies outside of Silicon Valley, and have, our customers and employees like us right now. So we're doing well there. So what does Pendo do? Pendo helps you create products that your users love. Coincidentally, fun fact, Pendo means love in Swahili. I didn't actually know that when I named the company, but it is a very convenient thing now. So what does that mean? The reality is the experiences that you have when you use software now really, really matter. So they didn't used to matter when we first had software, but if you came to work and had something like on the left, you'd be pretty dissatisfied and you start looking for alternatives. So what we'd help do is we help digital brands improve their experience so they're all like Google and Facebook and Airbnb, because the reality is we all have choices now with the software we use, and if it's not a great experience, we can take our dollars and time elsewhere. So what does that mean specifically? We basically combine the ability to get deep behavioral insights. We understand what you do in software and combine the ability to take action. So we can educate you on how to use it. We can onboard you into it. So we can take a software application that may be a little bit hard to use and give the teams a lot more data and capabilities to improve that experience. So you actually get value out of the software you use. One thing I like to say is if software is eating the world, we're making it more consumable for all of us. So we are headquartered in Raleigh, North Carolina. I wish I had some amazing story how I created a spreadsheet and ended up there. I do not. I happen to live there. I have kids. Moving kids gets pretty difficult if you have them and you have a life. So that's the primary reason why I'm there and why the company's there. But it is a really great place to run a company. There are now tons of accolades, and I think just like Denver, we've gotten our fair share. We're no longer a secret anymore inside the country, and there's a ton of people moving there. And I think the core of the triangle, the research triangle is what they call it, that's Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, is that we have 3 great universities. They graduate over 10,000 new students a year. That is 10,000 potential employees that are all great. They're all eager to come in and help. And like a lot of the other areas, you can actually afford to live there. So I don't know what the average house costs, to be honest, but people can afford to live there. And we, the last presentation, have 25% of our people that actually commute to work via foot or bicycle. So you don't need to drive in a car to come to the office. But one of my passions, what I like the most, is food. It's also a great place to have a great meal. So whether it's barbecue or even Asian cuisine, we have a growing foodie scene. And what's more importantly is you actually can get into these places. So it isn't absolutely impossible to get into the fanciest restaurants. So you can enjoy a nice meal and whenever you desire. We've had some really good growth. So we've tripled each year for the past 2 years. And again, we've managed to attract really strong VCs. We've even done our first acquisition in Israel. We acquired a company out there, so we're starting to grow inorganically as well. And we most recently moved into our 43,000 square foot office in Raleigh. You would be shocked if you knew what we paid for it. It's a lot less than what a lot of other people pay for their offices, but it'll give us a lot of room to grow. One of the things about being not inside the area is you can't compare yourselves to your neighbor. So this is a slide I use often for our customer or our employees, and it shows us, it's from Bessemer, and it's how do we compare against other companies that are best-in-class companies. They're all publicly traded SaaS businesses. And what I'm proud to say is that we're on the right path. And that's what's important, is that you can do it. Doesn't matter where you're from or where you start, you can do it. So we haven't done it yet. We have a lot more work to do. I'm not saying we're necessarily the next Box or Twilio, but we're on the path, and that's what matters to me. Talent's a big part of that. This is Megan from Spark. She talks about, of all of our portfolio companies, we are hiring the best. And I think that's part of the reason why we've been successful. And last but certainly not least, there's a lot of talk about unicorns. We aspire to hope to add more outside the Bay Area. There aren't a ton of them, but that's always the goal. So we'll see if we can do it. Thanks.